everyone, my name is Sandhya Shenoy and I am here today at Motherhood with my gynecologist Dr. Madhushri Vijaykumar, who has also delivered my two beautiful babies.
Dr. Madhushri Vijaykumar is a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist at Motherhood Hospital and has nearly 20 years of experience. She has delivered over 8,000 babies. Her interest lies in high-risk pregnancy, reproductive endocrinology and fertility care with special interest in natural birth and promoting normal vaginal deliveries. She has extensive experience in working in India, Australia and United Kingdom and is involved in teaching and training postgraduate doctors for appearing for the MRCOG examinations. She has several publications to her credit as well.
So we are here to talk about sustainable menstruation, menstruation in general, plastic-free menstruation, and we are going to have this as a series. Let's go on to have this communication with Dr. Madhushri.
Thank you, Sandhya, for the introduction. I'm Dr. Madhushri Vijaykumar, Consultant Obstetrician and Gynecologist at Motherhood Hospitals, Hebbal.
Teenager or a girl moves into adolescence and her menstruation starts at the age of when she attains puberty. Almost up to 40 to 50 years women go through menstruation, and I think through the lifetime they use around 15,000 pads and tampons.
That's huge.
That's a huge number. So if you want to give us a brief of how or what are the products that we have been using so far and how as a country we can work towards making things better for our planet.
Right. Very, very important question to start with, Sandhya. The reason is we moved from our grandmothers telling about using the menstrual cloth, which they would probably keep it as a very secret equipment for them. And then keeping it away from their husbands or sons or their father-in-laws, basically because it was more of a secret equipment. So they would use the menstrual cloth and keep it in a small pouch, dry it in a dark room, and then end up having lot of complications with that. So they would probably have multiple pelvic infections, heavy menstrual bleeding related to these usage of cloths which were not used properly. It's been there, it's just not used properly. So that was what I would say. But late 1900s and early 20th century is where they got these sanitary napkins into vogue, and then 1940s and 1950s I guess is there where the sanitary napkins came into the US population. They were able to use it more liberally than us, and I think in India we got it somewhere between 1970 and 1980, so that late. So we were lagging behind almost 30-40 years. So till that time they were using but not appropriately. As you know, the sanitary napkins, majority of them is, I think it's about 80 to 90% is all plastic content.
Yes.
The outer layer, the inner layer, and the gel which is going to absorb lot of blood in that is all of plastic material. Even the pharmacy guy who gives it is wrapped in that plastic cover. And they want to make it as a secret, even though everybody knows that the black cover which has the sanitary napkin is your sanitary napkins, but they still want to keep it as a secret. And I think that's where the plastic waste is being spoken about, because as you rightly said, 40 years of our lives we are going to use those sanitary napkins. And where is it going? So it has to go either to your sewage where it's going to get blocked, or it is going to go to the landfill. And as you know, one sanitary napkin is going to take close to 600 to 800 years to degrade. And you cannot even call it as biodegradable because there's nothing in that which is biodegradable. Everything is non-bio basically. So it ends up on the landfill, and then it will take 8 centuries literally over which something can be constructed out of it. So definitely not in our generation or the next generation. I was discussing with my daughter and I asked her, what is more relevant to the teenagers, and so therefore she came up, talk more about sustainable menstruation, because that is where majority of them are lacking awareness and access to where they are going to get those products. So that was the reason we decided we'll discuss more about it today. And as you know, we are trying to see what products we can use which is non-plastic, and so therefore we have to go back to the menstrual cloth again, which our old grandmothers were using it. But the question is how to wash and where to dry. So I think that
I think, but one of the things that comes before we even go into plastic-free menstruation is India as a population is the second largest in the world.
Yes.
And we also have almost, I think we are second largest in the world population of adolescent kids.
Yes, it's going to become now number one.
Number
soon.
one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
We have almost girls dropping out of schools because they cannot deal with menstruation because it's a taboo in
Correct.
India. It still is a taboo in
It is,
India.
yeah.
So if you want to look at our country and menstruation, we still have taboo. Like you talked about cloth. Me being born in 80s, I used cloth until 1990s.
Right, right.
And moved on to sanitary napkin. So I have gone through the phase
Phase,
of
yes.
hiding away the cloth and drying the cloth. Don't show it to the boys or men of the household.
Correct.
So we are still in that age where we have girls in rural areas who are using leaves, using soil, using bark to handle their menstruation. And though we have programs which is looking at giving free sanitary napkins in rural areas, we still have taboo in cities as well, where if you get menstruation, they do aarti and make you feel
Correct.
so conscious that it's something big that has happened. You have girls still hesitant to talk about it to
Correct.
their mothers or to their grandmothers. So before we even go up to menstruation cups or plastic free things, we are aware that girls don't want to take cloth anymore to school.
Correct.
But and there are girls who don't have cloth also to take to schools. They're
Correct.
using rags.
Correct.
So what are the basic things that households of today are still dealing with when it comes to menstruation as a taboo?
Right. So I would probably put it both as the myths and the taboos of menstruation. And then I would probably discuss the urban girls and then the rural girls. Probably we'll put it in that way, because I think the scenario is completely different. Even though both of them are dealing with menstruation, both of them are going through the same biological phenomenon, but the expressions or the attitude towards menstruation is completely different.
Yes.
And then there is some sort of hypocrite discussions happening of, I'm sure all of us are aware about Akshay Kumar's Padman movie,
Yes.
where he came out saying, the sanitary napkins, but again there it is plastic. Yeah. The discussion is not on. So actually the rural girls where they were using the cloth or the bamboo material, whatever it is, were still eco-friendly. But now usage of the sanitary napkins, you are actually dirtying the rural environment where they were actually doing a better job in managing the environment. Now where will this go? Where will this sanitary napkins which has been used go? I think more relevant topic to discuss there is how to create awareness of the menstrual hygiene. What is normal? What is she expected out to do? What is her diet? How are you going to promote her education? How are you making sure she is attending schools and not getting out of school? Because most of the rural girls are coming out of school basically because they are not able to manage this menstruation part. There is no proper toilet facilities where they have to change the sanitary napkins. There are so many things. On the contrary, even though we say urban India has got a better access to sanitary napkins, but where are we going to dispose them of? So that is there.